Hey, queens and kings. This is Sharrona Reaves, and we are back with part 2, Dating Over 40 with the Kings of Atlanta. I always have a couple of things on the table that I want to talk about before we get started. As we know, right now we are celebrating places across the world that are listeners to these three things. And the place that I'm going to celebrate today and say thank you today is the current state in which I live, the state of Georgia. I live down in Savannah, Georgia. Georgia, y'all have just really embraced these three things podcast. You listen every week. You have been here from the beginning. I appreciate the fact that you listen. I appreciate the fact that you share. I appreciate the feedback that I get from you, your thoughts, and you are very vocal. And I do appreciate that. I like vocal people. I like people who express what they think about things. Also, too, I'm giving Georgia a shout out because as of Monday, December 14th, we have started early voting for the Senate runoffs. And we need to be out voting, Georgia. I know you guys are listening. Let's not let this time pass us by. Remember what I said in the Black Women in Politics episode on how we have to understand that we got to vote for more than just the presidential elections. We've got to get out here in this thing and get engaged. And it's very important right now for our community that we claim these 2 Senate seats. So this is huge, Georgia. I hope we stand up and take care of our business during this early voting. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way and make sure that we represent. I also want to give a shout out and an applause to the queens who tune in every week and listen to these three things podcast. The intention of what I'm trying to do here is massive. It's massive. Do I think that I'm going to reach all of us? Absolutely not. But in my heart, do I really believe that if I just reach one of us, then that means the world to me? I will tell you that it absolutely does. I pray that you see yourself in some of these queens that I talk to and are working on being more kind to your sister. Just a simple thing, giving a compliment to a sister, making sure that you're reaching back and helping a queen if you're in the position to do so. I also want to add to that in the Black community as a whole, we have not ever really been able to be our authentic selves outside of our own culture, like within our family, within our clique, within our crew. And I know that this conversation with the Kings of Atlanta and the explicitness of the conversation can cause us to cringe in the Black community a little bit because we have never really felt safe to openly talk about this, much less, on an airwave where everybody in the world can listen to it. And that's exactly why I'm having these conversations and the explicitness, because we are people and we are more than just a culture. We are humans. We feel, we believe, we see, we exist. And for so long, we have felt boxed into a place that, well, if we say that and the wrong person hears it, and I get that. And if you're not in a place to be authentically free and exercise how you feel and what you believe and stand up for the things that you believe, I hate it. I hate it for you because I've definitely been there. And I know what it feels like to be suppressed and feel like that I can't speak up and I can't really speak my truth. Because it wouldn't be received, and then I'm going to be judged by people who prefer that I keep how I feel to myself so that the status quo can stay the same around here. But I'm choosing to have the conversations openly, things that we talk about culturally, openly, because I'm not ashamed of our culture and I'm not ashamed of our being. I've gotten a lot of different reviews about the conversation with the Kings. Most of you have loved it. I'm not here to place these three things podcast in a box. This is for Black women. This is about our culture and everything that affects us in our culture and what affects us more than our kings. And knowing what our kings think and where they are mentally and their expectations. These three men are not indicative to all of our kings in our culture, but they share their perspectives. This isn't about us keeping secrets or I've got to package these three things podcast in some perfectly black bow that I'm worried about people who are not of our culture listening to and then making assessments about what's being said here. This is for us. If other cultures and races join, you are welcome, but understand you are coming into our world and what we talk about and how we talk about it and how we engage, be it right, wrong, indifferent. I ask all of my guests to show up authentically and just be. And however that comes out, that's what it is. I felt like I needed to say that because I want us to know and as my listeners that this is not a boxed in show. And it will not be a boxed in show where I can't do that or I can't say that. I'm not interested in living my life on that level anymore at all. I want to be free and I want to be authentic. And I want to show love and respect to everybody without having to withhold any part of me to do that. So let's get off into this week's episode, Kings of Atlanta, Dating Over 40 with Matthew, Chris, and Barry. We open up this conversation talking about interracial dating, and we take it from there. Another great episode of these awesome kings sharing their perspectives of dating over 40. Enjoy.
There's a place for us we can depend. There are hearts can trust that will find unity. You and I and many more. These three things, that's how we'll be restored. So we can rise up, move. We've got the victory. Burdens loose. These three things. Higher, higher we go. Don't stop, we're too close. Free your mind, let's go. These three things.
We're back with the Kings of Atlanta, and now we're going to talk about interracial dating. Guys, have you done it? Are you here for it? Would you do it again?
I've done it.
Okay. Are you here for it? Would you do it again? Are you open to interracial at any time?
I'm open to meeting great people. So if they are, and I've dated Hispanic, I've dated African, I've dated
Caucasian,
and our beautiful sisters. So,
okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really go out looking for a particular race. It's just when I'm out, it's the interaction I have with people.
Yeah.
So it's more about.
Would you marry outside of your race?
Well,
you're not going to get married.
I wouldn't marry.
Yeah.
So
would you live with a woman? Would you? We didn't talk about that. You said you wouldn't marry, but would you cohabitate?
Yeah.
Would you Oprah instead?
I'd be monogamous, and I would be, I would be willing to live with somebody.
Okay.
Definitely. I just wouldn't, I would have a ceremony even if they wanted to have a ceremony. And
a commitment ceremony?
A commitment ceremony.
Okay.
I would do it, but I'm not going to do the traditional marriage thing.
I got you.
So,
Chris, interracial, have you done it?
You talking about like seriously?
Yes, like relationship.
Okay. No, I haven't. I haven't been with a woman seriously.
Outside of your race?
Well, she has some black in her, so that matters. So yeah, no, I haven't.
Okay. Now, just dating. Have you dated outside your race? Like maybe not on a serious level.
I mean, I've kicked it with a woman that's not black.
What was she?
Nothing serious. She was white.
Okay.
Right.
Would you marry a white woman?
Probably not. I mean, I'm open to meeting, but my gut is telling me it probably won't work.
Okay. And why?
Got to be evenly yoked. I like to go back to that, and I just feel like she probably wouldn't understand me or where I'm coming from, you know, with my theories or arguments.
So when you say kicked it with, is that just is sex?
It was just sex.
Okay. Barry?
First of all, I gotta say I love my black women. Like I love them. So
But
I'm not, you know, I done had sex with some other races. Like I said, I had a little bit of everything, but it was like a sneak. I'm not gonna. I feel.
Yeah.
I was kind of embarrassed being out in public with a different race. So I'm never gonna bring nothing besides a black woman home to my family.
Yeah.
But I didn't smashed a few different races.
So it's all just been physical for you.
Yeah, all physical for me. But
Okay, so as you have acknowledged that you have had your share of women, do you know all of the different races that you've been with, dated?
Yeah. So,
Name them. Can you run them?
Go down the map. All of them from Mexicans to Hispanic, from Asians, Caucasians, all exotics, from all the Caribbeans, everywhere from the Caribbeans, to Jamaica,
African.
I pretty much had it all.
Yeah.
Eritrean, Ethiopian sisters. I didn't have it all. I know it all up under Africans, but I didn't have it all.
So here's a question with a man who, has had it all. Is there a difference in cultures?
It's definitely a big difference. Definitely a big difference.
I mean, I know culturally there is a difference, but I'm talking about physically. Is there a difference?
Yeah.
Or is a woman just a woman, just a woman,
Nah,
just a woman?
It's a difference. It's a difference. It's definitely a difference.
Okay. In what ways?
The body, the physical, the everything, just the attention you receive, the nurturing, the caring, some I noticed from different, some cater to more, it's a big difference. I could, especially, people have the mindset sometimes when it comes to, I'm gonna go to the black and white race. They said, a lot of people say, I'm not one, but they say a white woman play her place. You know what I mean? And a black woman, I haven't experienced it because again, I haven't dated a lot of white women, but they say a white woman will really bow down to you and just, like the lady on Coming to America, whatever you like. They say the sisters be like on some, I don't need you, this, that, and other. So it's a difference. I don't know, one of the other brothers could cover a little bit more, but I've only sexually been involved with other races.
But in relationships, it's just been sisters. Yeah. Okay. Women with children. Is that a deal breaker if she has children? And if it's okay if she has children, what's the number that's too many? Like, okay, you got too many kids.
It's not a deal breaker. I think a lot of women, have children. At this point in my age, I prefer them to be older.
Yes.
Children like teens. But yeah, it's not a deal breaker.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't want to go over 2.
Okay.
They have like 5 or 7 or 9 or.
What if
11.
she has 5 kids, but they're all grown?
Oh, that's different. But if you're saying 5 and they're all under 18, then
no,
that
that's
probably
a deal breaker.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be looking to get involved in that.
Chris?
It used to be a deal breaker, but I have dated women with children. And blending families is difficult. It's just extremely difficult. And even though I'm more open to it, my preference is probably no.
No children. Yeah. Barry?
Yeah, again, what Chris said, I'd like to piggyback off that. My preference is not dating a woman with no children. But if I happen...
Your preference is dating a woman with no children?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I happen to meet a woman who has children, I'm open to it. Because sometimes I noticed coming up, even with my mom, they were more interested in my mom than the kids. So you got to be willing to accept the girl and her family. You got to be like,
Yeah.
I'm not just dating you, I'm dating you and your kids. And sometimes, a lot of times people forget the kids. They so interested into the mom, and they forget about the kids. So if I'm dating one with kids, I have to be involved with the kids as well, and just let the woman know I'm into it. So
That's interesting that you say that, because I was dating a guy one time that I asked my son what he think about him. And I didn't date him like on a serious level. I think I went out to dinner with him or something, and my kids met him. My son said, yeah, Mom, he was more interested in you than he was getting to know us. And I thought, wow, perceptive. Like, you know, that my son could tell that this guy don't care nothing about us. He just here for our mom. So to hear you say that, I thought, you know, okay.
See, the first thing I think of when I hear that is I was raised in a household where the kids weren't first. We weren't the priority.
Yeah.
My mother and father were. They looked at each other and their relationship as the priority.
Yeah.
And if they're good and they're happy, then everything underneath that they support will be happy too.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big difference today.
Yeah. See, I think coming from a divorced family, I think because you're in a 2-parent home, so your parents have that stability to have that relationship. I'm from a 2-parent home. My mom and dad been married 52 years. As a matter of fact, I'm the only person in my family to ever get a divorce. I think that what my son was looking for was not necessarily to come first, but with his dad no longer being in the equation, okay, are we going to be put on the back burner now because mom's dating somebody else? Like, is this guy going to come in and not give a crap about us? You know, and I think for kids who are in divorced families, those are actual real thoughts. And to be honest with you, nobody was going to come before my kids.
But in all fairness, though, you did say that you weren't even seeing him seriously. Like, you had just gone to dinner with him. So maybe it was in the beginning stages, and he was probably just focused on you first because it was early, you know, and
had time to.
Yeah,
I
need to
think
figure
my
out.
son's assessment was correct. As a matter of fact, I think his assessment was correct, because the guy that I dated for 6 years, listen, vacations, let's go, kids is gone. Like, he was all about, he dated me and my kids, and my kids loved him. They loved him because that, you know, it showed that, okay, you realize that she come with people, right? You realize that she got some people with her, right? So I'm just saying that, like, I think in all cases, being in, like, my parents, your parents, I agree. Like, you know what, y'all jokers get in where you fit in. Me and your dad gonna figure out what we doing first. But for divorced kids, it's a little bit like, okay, what does this mean for us? Because the stability that we once knew, it doesn't exist anymore.
So how should a divorced woman with children move forward with a guy? Like, what does that new family look like?
I think it looks like relationship building. I think that any man who is coming into that type of situation where a woman already has children, I think he needs to understand that it's going to be important that while he's building and cultivating a relationship with that woman, he also has to put in his time with those children as well. Because if that situation is going to eventually become something serious that could possibly lead to marriage, those kids are going to want to know that this guy is here for all of us, that he genuinely cares about all of us. We all have a relationship with him. We know him. We trust him. So then if marriage does happen and some form of discipline has to happen, then they understand that it's coming from a place and from a person that they trust, that they know, that they care about, and that they can receive. So I think communication between you and that woman, and then relationship building between you, the woman, and her children is just going to be really key. Yeah.
But no, I'm just saying the guy you select needs to be the guy. The guy you select needs to be the type of guy that can talk to your kids, whether you're.
But in defense of mothers who have raised, not in defense, but just to maybe add some clarity to that, I think a lot of times for me growing up, I mean, my divorce caused me to live a life I had not seen. I had never seen a divorce before. I'd never seen a woman trying to raise kids on her own before because nobody else in my family had done it. So I think a lot of mothers try to overcompensate for the fact that the dad isn't there, especially if he's not an involved father. So we do the most and we become like this super overprotective mama bear because it's like, okay, they already suffering without having a male figure around here. So you're not going to come in here and be trying to, and I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just trying to give some clarity to like why some women have struggled with letting a man come in.
I think that's natural.
Yeah.
Because my mom was like that.
Yeah.
Until my dad stepped in and was like, you had the first 6 years. Going forward, he's going into a young man.
But that's her husband, though. We talking about the guy we dating.
They got divorced or?
No.
Yeah.
They're together.
They were
Yeah.
together until he passed.
Yeah.
Okay. And
But-
your parents are still
together.
Single parent?
Single parent. My pop's deceased, so.
Yeah. I'm single parent. So I grew up with my mother and 3 sisters.
So you had a mama bear probably. No?
I mean,
Did you meet a lot of your mom's friends?
she didn't have any.
See, that's what I had a therapist, and my therapist was like, don't do that. She said so many women feel like that when they get a divorce, they have to put their lives on hold so their kids don't ever meet anybody. And she was like, no, your kids need to see a woman survive after divorce and date and have a life. Like they need to know that you have a life.
Yeah, she survived, but she didn't date anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, she just
I
worked.
agree with that too. And I also think kids need to see men and women have productive friendships.
Yes.
Like having a model, having things modeled in front of them.
Yes.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. We explain, look, they got a computer and they look and they into everything else. There's nothing wrong with being able to explain to them what dating is
Right.
and what my relationship is
Absolutely.
with this guy.
Yeah, be selective, but
Yeah.
they need to see that.
They
They need
need
to
to
see
see
that
it.
like there is life after divorce. Like divorce does happen. Like it's real.
And they need to learn how to do it too.
Yeah,
They need to learn how to date and deal with relationships too.
absolutely. Okay, y'all, the
Real
game
quick,
is on.
have you guys had problems with women that you dated with kids?
Not problem. No.
I have, because I used to try to tell her like a woman I was down, like you doing too much for your son. Like he gonna
Yeah.
be
He's gonna be a punk. You
he gonna
raising
be a
him to
punk.
be.
Yeah, you too soft with him. You know what I mean? I said, who holds him accountable? I said, because the mama, you know what I'm saying? Like your little whoopings ain't hurting this dude. I said, if I'm in your life, I don't want to touch nobody else's son, but you need to take him to your uncle, somebody, let him chastise. You know, he need to be chastised.
Because they're raising boys that they wouldn't want to date.
Yeah.
That's true.
They're
Yeah.
raising boys
Mm-hmm.
in a way and
That's
raising them to be
Yeah, I
men
get
that
it.
they would not want to date.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Now see, I had that thought when I got divorced, and I look back now and I feel like I was way too hard on my son as a result of that, because I was trying to make sure that there were certain things that I would say to him, like a woman ain't gonna, like when you get older, a woman's gonna like not want that right there. Like you need to work on that and have those conversations with him, because I feel like as a mother, it's your job to raise a man that some woman gonna want one day, and come back to me and be like, you know what, you raised that man. Thank you.
Thank you for raising your son the way you did.
Yeah, but now I look back, I'm like, dang, was I too hard on the boy?
I removed myself from the situation. The lady I was dating with had a son. I removed myself. I said, because look, you letting your son get away with too much.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I'm gonna remove myself and step out the situation, because I'm gonna do a baby boy on him. Like, you know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
he
Finna yoke
when
him
he
up.
yoke
Choke
him
hold
up.
on
him.
I said he need to be yoked up, and she was like so passive on him and nice. And I said, nah, let me get up out of here, because.
Should call the police on you.
Because it make you not even like the kid,
Part of
don't
baby
it?
boy, you remember we say he is punching the wall. You want a nigga
Right.
like me to go back to prison? You know, I was like, let me get out of here real quick, man.
God.
You know what I mean?
Because
But nah,
they'll
go
try
ahead.
you.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
try you. They'll
Yeah.
play you
Yeah.
against each other. Kids
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
And it'll
Kids are
have you
smart.
where you don't even like the kid. You'd
They
be like, I don't
are
even
smart.
like
Yeah,
you.
you ain't my son anyway, little punk.
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
It's terrible, but true.
Nah, I got you. Yeah.
Can I move on now, Chris?
Yeah.
Can I go to long distance
All right,
relationship?
let's go.
You
Let's
the
go.
boss.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry to take up a lot of your time. We going in. We going
Listen,
in.
they have no idea. We go marathons. It's
all
like, Okay, long distance relationships. Do they work?
Yes.
Yes.
They can.
They can. My bad.
I've had some successful.
Are y'all faithful in
Yes.
long distance relationships?
We can
I have
be.
been. I have been.
We can be.
If she
But-
worth it, yeah.
But the thing
It's
is-
hard. It's hard though. Shit.
But
This
the
shit
thing
hard.
is, long distance or in the same city, it's whether you choose to. So if it's the right person in the right situation, then yeah.
Are men more likely to cheat in a long distance relationship?
Not if it's the right person.
Okay.
I
don't think
mean,
it
I
matters.
dated somebody that was in Central Mexico,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't cheat on that person.
Okay.
I mean, they'd fly into Mexico City, take a bus 3 hours, and middle of nowhere. But I did it like twice a month. I
Oh,
went
wow.
down on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So
Are they more likely to cheat, guys, in a long distance relationship? And how long can you be in a long distance relationship? Like for real? Like how long can we do this? How many
Yeah.
years?
We did this-
Months, years?
we did it a few years.
I don't want nothing long distance no more.
You need something close.
Yeah, because she can't give me what I need right then and there. Like when I was younger, it was fun, but I ain't just talking about the physical aspect, but shit, I want to be like be in the bed next to me, just laying next to me, rub my back, you know,
Yeah.
kick it with me, let's go eat. So it was fun when I was younger, but now as you get older, I'll be like, I want it right here in front of me.
Yeah.
Be in my presence.
Yeah.
If I think that it can be done if a plan, if there's, you can see light at the end of the tunnel, if you can see the possibilities for a plan to bring each other together,
Yeah.
then I think you can do it.
Okay. Cheating. Let's talk about it.
Mm.
Would you take her back if she cheated? Barry?
That's a tough one. That's a tough pill to swallow. I could go out there and cheat all I want to, accept me and forgive me. You cheat on me, I don't know. Ooh, it's tough.
I'll definitely say I think it depends on how
She cheated.
how they did it. That I think that has a lot to do with it.
Okay, so she was in a full-fledged like affair with another dude. This wasn't no one-time thing. And does that make a difference? Like if she was like really like feeling this dude and she had feelings and was having an affair, or if it was just like I had too many drinks and just like, you know, which is worse?
All of us worse.
All of 'em.
You know what I mean? Like when I say cheating, like if you go out on a date and you just went out to go a date and have a eat, I'd be like, okay, I'll take you back. But once the physical aspect get involved, and
Well, how far is too far? Is kissing cheating?
yeah, kissing is cheating too. But I probably could forgive a kiss. I probably could forgive a kiss, but
What if she let him go down on her, but she didn't have sex with him?
that's intimate. I don't know. That's a tough one. I haven't been faced with it, but
I'll say he's probably more likely to take her back
yeah, probably
than if he let her.
Not he.
If she
Knock her off.
let him
knock her off. Yeah.
penetrate.
Yeah.
What if she gave him head?
Oh yeah, it's over.
Yeah, that's done.
I can't. You didn't. I'm
Yeah.
kissing it. I'm kissing
That's
this nigga.
done.
You didn't.
But you know that's happened already,
Yeah,
though, right?
Yeah, it definitely happened.
prior to you. I was just
Right.
Yeah, he
I
brought
was
that
just
up
thinking
earlier.
that.
Yeah,
I was just thinking that.
he
But
brought it up earlier, but now you committed to me. Like
yeah.
So you're talking about somebody you're in a serious relationship, not somebody you're just dating, I guess.
Yeah, you're in a relationship and this
Yeah.
person cheated on you, or she came back and you found out that she had some intimate moments. I mean, it didn't involve the actual intercourse, but some
Oral sex.
How much she does during this episode will determine how more likely I feel a guy is willing to take her back.
so you women, you guys are quick to forgive us. And we go, all right, we could go.
should we be?
The double standard is real, man.
Yeah,
It's okay.
It's hella real. But
Should we be quick to forgive y'all though? Should we like?
you guys are forgiving women. You guys.
I think you
If
guys should
women
be.
cut
I think
y'all
you
off
should
when
be.
y'all cheated, would y'all stop cheating as much? If we was just like, you know what,
Nah.
I'm done with this and walk
Nah,
off, and
we
women
still-
just started doing that across the board, would that stop y'all from
No,
cheating?
we'll still be doing our thing. Like I cheated a lot. I cheated a lot. I ain't gonna lie. So
Well, Barry, I believe you.
yeah, in my past, I cheated a lot.
Well, no, I'm just saying because you said you've had a lot of women and
Yeah.
you've kind of like, you've been around and you've
Yeah.
traveled a lot, so it was easy to have.
Yeah.
So anybody that would be in a relationship with you would probably,
They gotta be mindful that with my past, be like, this is what I've been through. So
have you ever run across a violent woman?
nah, I could pick them pretty good. Like I never had
Oh,
nobody.
okay.
I never had to put my hands on a woman. I never will. But I never had a woman put her hands on me or like I could choose. I could choose a woman pretty good.
You're a good picker.
Yeah.
Matthew, you didn't answer the question. Can a woman cheat and you take her back?
I didn't answer that.
No, I didn't hear your answer.
Brother Matt, he said on to the next question. He's just like,
Well, it depends on what the relationship is. So I would say
You're in a monogamous relationship.
Oh,
What you consider a
monogamous?
monogamous relationship, and
possibly. Like I said, it might be tough, but possibly take her back.
you could.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if she's cheating, do y'all really want to know? Like, would you rather have just let her take it to a grave and just let me never know? Do you really want to know?
To the grave.
I want to know.
I want to know.
I want to know. Tell me.
Even if you know it's going to ruin a perfectly beautiful relationship, and even if it didn't
Is it
mean
really
anything
perfectly
to
beautiful?
her.
Yeah, if you had to do all that.
Well, if it's you, and now this is from cheaters.
Yeah, from cheaters. That show still come on, cheaters.
Man,
Exactly.
I think, listen, the double standard is real. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is just one that's
Yeah.
in our favor.
You are listening to These Three Things podcast and the Kings of Atlanta with Matthew, Chris, and Barry. We'll be right back. Hey, Queens and Kings, it's Christmas time, and just like you, I'm looking forward to spending time with my family and loved ones. This will be our last episode of 2020. I know we're all ready to see this year go and a new year come in. So after this episode, I'm going to take a Christmas break and spend time with the ones that I love. I pray that you have an amazing Christmas, and I will see you back here in 2021, January 5th, for the next and new episode of These Three Things podcast. Merry Christmas. If you want to find more information about this episode and my guest, go to www.these3-things.com. Go to our podcast page and click on this episode. Women cheat for emotional reasons.
Mhm.
Why do men cheat?
The thrill.
The hunt.
The hunt and the
Yeah.
conquer.
Just
A new challenge.
Variety.
New challenge.
Variety. I think the number one thing is variety. You didn't. I haven't had to do a lot of cheating in my most serious relationships because I felt like I picked something that I got everything I needed.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you guys, fast forward, and you've been married twice, Matthew, but let's say fast forward, and you two gentlemen, Barry and Chris, are married now. Happily married, life is good, y'all got you a couple of babies out the thing, and you find out she cheated. Is the marriage over? Do you throw it all
When?
away?
Like when? What do you mean?
during our
Like
our
maybe
marriage,
you're in year 7.
she,
You know, she got that 7-year itch,
I
and
found out in year 2 she cheated.
no, you found out in year 7 that she cheated in maybe year 5.
It's gonna be definitely a conversation we're gonna have.
Would you throw it all away?
I can't say I throw it away, but I look at her different.
Especially with kids
Yeah,
involved.
I can't. Yeah, because now it's kids involved, and you gotta look at like, damn, like why you telling me this so late? Like
She didn't tell you found out.
I found out.
Mhm.
Okay, so
That's even worse.
yeah, because I'm gonna address it now, but I know I can't just throw these kids away. So now it's going in the back of my mind how my mind gonna work to be like, okay, I got a freebie coming. I got a freebie
I
coming.
plan on cashing in on it.
Yeah, this might get out of jail, my free card. So I'm gonna use mine.
Are you going to
one
let
day.
her know that you thinking that way, or you just going to make a
Nah,
move?
I'm just gonna make a move. I'm gonna just make a move, and then so
So then the deception starts in the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, I was
Why
about
do
to say
we
that
throw
next.
deception in the game? Why can't we just have conversation about it and be like, you know what? Like, I want mine then. If you had yours, I want mine. And I don't want to hear no conversation about it.
because
Or
People
get to the root
yeah, the-
problem of why she did what
why
she
she
did.
do that? I was about to say
Get to
go
the
back
root.
to the root, but then that's gonna cause like
Not gonna trust her anymore. man.
it's gonna like if we.
I think the double standard again. A man, he won't trust her. He just won't trust her anymore. And once that's gone for a man,
Okay. For knowledge's sake, what Matthew just said, I think, is a point that we need to
get to the root.
go further with. Why come a brother don't want to know why she cheated though? Why is it just about you cheated, that's it? But women cheat for emotional reasons. Women rarely cheat for sex. Women will rarely cheat on you because your sex game is bad. Women usually cheat because mentally you're not there for me. Emotionally, I can't count on you. Like you're just you're not.
Why are all the reasons good? Maybe she just has been suppressing her free code.
I mean, she could be suppressing her free code, but as a woman, I am telling you, we don't typically cheat on our men. And there's another woman in the room who is acknowledging that I'm saying what I'm saying is correct. We don't typically cheat for sex. Like, if she cheated on you for sex, you already know she a freak hoe.
Women,
you know what I'm saying? You know that you're not surprised with that.
These women nowadays, they be like, I got enough tools and machines. I don't need you.
Some chicks are G's, man.
Some chicks are G.
A lot.
But if not more.
Edits on this episode.
And when they cheat,
if not more.
And when they cheat too, don't be mad. It ain't just the wife; it's that best friend that told you. Don't be mad at your wife. Be mad at that best friend. She gonna be like, "Girl, go on and fuck somebody else." So she gonna confirm it. So be mad at that best friend too. Don't check your wife and check her best friend. I'm telling you.
So in the name of cheating, what if she cheated on you with a chick?
It's not cheating.
She don't have to do that.
You got to bring her to the house. I need to talk to her too. I need to talk to both of you guys.
Yeah, I need to counsel. I need to counsel both of y'all together.
She cheated on you with a chick.
Yeah, she got turned out. She might have got turned out, so that's still cheating. You know, it's still cheating.
Is it a deal breaker though? Because I mean, Chris, you keep
less.
talking about the double standard.
It's a lot less of a deal breaker
if
she did it with a chick. I could accept that a lot more than with a dude.
I forgive you. We gonna work it out still, and then in the back of your mind,
we get ready to change the stipulation.
In the back of your mind, you can be like,
"This isn't that bad."
Yeah.
So you could have just told me.
Guys, can we talk like real talk right here for just a second? So your parents were married how long, Chris?
Long, 40 years, I guess. I don't know, a long time.
Okay. And in the course of, my parents been married 52. In the course of their 52 years, I have watched my mom and dad go through some stuff. And my older sister's been married almost 30 years, and my younger sister's been married about 27 years. Okay, so over the course of those years, y'all, people change. And like what I needed 15 years ago, I need something different now. So if we're talking about being in relationships with somebody and needs change, like, is marriage to the point now in 2020 where we can go and talk to our mate about, okay, so babe, my sexual needs have changed. Like, I need something more than this. This isn't enough for me. Can a marriage survive that? Can we, like in 2020, have those conversations? As a man, do you feel like you can go to a woman and be like, you know, babe, I love you and I don't want to lose you, but, you know, I want to be with other women sometimes, and I want that to be okay with you. I want you to know I'm going to come home, and I'll be honest with you about, you know, what I'm doing out here, and I'm going to be protecting us, and I'm not going to bring nothing home, but this is just my need, and I'd rather have the conversation with you than to go out here and be deceiving you.
But can you accept it? That's the whole thing.
I have to think about it. I have to think about where we are in our relationship. What season in our relationship are we in? If this is early on and you coming to me with this, I'm going to feel away because I'm like, man, we ain't even been married 5 years. But if we've been married 20-something years and I know this man like I know my hands, you know what I'm saying? And I know that this brother is a good man, but he's coming to me and being real with me. First, I'm going to want to know, is it a woman that you've already got your eyes set on, that you've purposed in your mind that you want to be with? Or is this something that you just know inside yourself that you know you feel like you want to act on?
Is it a problem if it is somebody he already has his eye on?
I would probably feel away, but I'm still going to appreciate the fact that he came and said something to me about it.
See,
and then I'm going to ask him, does it matter what I say, babe? Like, even if I tell you that I don't want you to do this, are you still going to do it? And if he says I might,
sitting at this table right now,
then I got to make a grown woman move.
You make it sound so eloquent and smooth and so like welcoming and like, oh, I just want to pour all of my soul into what, I just want. And then the second because when you're having these conversations with your woman at home, ain't no microphones, ain't no podcast, and it don't sound as sweet and it ain't as smooth. We ain't all wearing T-shirts that's the same. We not all vibing on the same vibe. At home, it's different.
Because that's marriage. If we talking about being married for a lifetime, come on, y'all don't think that's not coming up?
I mean, communication is key.
We've been having the same sex for the last 20 years. Okay, we're going to start out in the missionary, then I'm going to flip it over, then you're going to want me to be on top, then we're going to end up like this. Come on. But 20 years in the game.
People say they want honesty. Like a woman could say, be honest with me. But they really don't want that honesty. You tell them that honest shit.
I was trying to tell her that, bro.
You don't want you want the truth. Can you handle that shit? You know what I mean? You might be able to,
Yes.
but a lot of women say that they can handle it, but they can't handle that truth. Oh yeah,
They get
they gonna be like, oh, I can't. They can't handle it. They
But
want
what
honesty.
else? Okay, but
And
okay.
some guys can't handle the truth either.
Because if you're gonna be with somebody for a lifetime, y'all, at some point, she gonna want some other D, and at some point he gonna want to be with somebody else. And if what we have is real, why can't we talk about that?
That's why you don't get
If
married.
we are really in tune with each other and we are genuinely caring about each other's happiness and not out here perpetrating a fraud or faking something or lying and being deceiving on the back end, why aren't those conversations that men and women can't have after being married 30 years? You know
Because
what,
I
babe?
agree with having
Most
all of
people
those
get into marriage
conversations.
without really fully knowing the other person's thoughts on education or for kids, what their thoughts are on religion for the children, or they're caught up in this whole euphoria of I'm in love, he's a
Let's
great
get married.
guy,
We got married.
we're having a great time, let's get married. The proposes, the great ring, and they don't go into all the nitty gritty of
I agree with that,
of
Matthew.
being a friend first. Most people aren't even friends; they just go and get married because that's what they've been taught, whether it's at a young age or older age. I'm running out of time. I'm gonna settle for this guy, or I'm gonna settle for this woman.
Okay, we're down to the end right here.
All right.
Deal breakers. Is religion hurt? She don't have no religion. She don't love. She don't believe in God. She an atheist. Is that a deal breaker?
Nope, I'm agnostic.
You're agnostic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not a deal breaker for you. No religion, Chris. She don't do that. She wasn't raised on that. She not doing that.
I'm not religious either.
So you're okay with that?
I'm okay with everything except for not. I mean, I'm more spiritual than religious.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with something. As long as you have something and you can
Okay.
explain it, what it
Okay.
means to you, and maybe why you feel the way you do.
Okay.
That's one of the 4 things that I think makes a relationship
What are
sail
your
or fail.
4? What are your 4?
Money.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna live off debt? Are we gonna live in debt for the rest of our lives, or are we gonna be debt free? Kids, are we gonna have them? How many? And are the inmates gonna run the asylum?
Mm-hmm.
3, boundaries of family.
And 4,
Religion.
religion. Okay. I like that. Barry.
Me,
She don't have no spirituality at all.
Nah, she got to have some type of base, some type of accountability. Somebody that I want a woman to have a covenant over me, like put hands on me sometime when I'm asleep, just pray over me, and I'm spiritually, but like I want somebody to speak life into me. Pray over me, like again, touch me. I really believe in that, having that covenant a lot, and sometimes like I don't care if you could be a Muslim sister, you could be a Christian. Just sometimes some
Something.
nights I might not have it, so I need you to have it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yep. About that. What's more important to a man? Trust or respect?
They're equal.
both of them. But
They're
if
equal.
you have
You
to
got
I think
to
they go
choose
hand in
one.
hand.
you're gonna respect me first.
Yeah.
My respect gonna come first. You're gonna respect me.
Respect first.
And then you gonna respect, and then then that trust can come after that. But respect is hell of important to me.
But I think if there's trust, then there's respect.
Not
'Cause you're not
necessarily.
gonna disrespect somebody
No,
that's
not
trustworthy.
true. No, I won't.
I think if you have respect,
Yeah,
for me,
don't speak.
I
for
was
me,
gonna
if
say
you have,
something.
if you have respect, if you respect me, then to me the trust will come.
Mm-hmm.
based on the fact that
I'm
you
in
have.
reverse. I think if I can trust you, then you're not gonna do anything that's gonna embarrass me or anything that we have.
You'll respect me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think if I can trust you, everything else will follow.
So trust comes first for you, and
For
then
me.
respect. Respect comes first for you too, and then trust.
To me, yeah.
Okay. When does a man know it's safe to trust a woman?
I don't think there's a time limit on it.
When do you know? When do you look at her and be like, I trust her? Or what period? Like, how long does that have to transpire? What did she do to make you look at her and think that? Was she there for you in a moment?
Yeah, there you go. It has to be.
Like-
She showed through actions. her actions help me to see
To
that I
determine.
can trust
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
Man, I always say trust everyone, trust no one. I mean, it's going to be over time. Certain things are going to happen, whether it's a moment or if it's just the small things. Because if you can't trust somebody, but something small happens and they're not there for you, I just think it's.
So the trust is just built up over time.
Over time, yeah,
Yeah.
time. You'll see if she's trustworthy, and you could size a woman up, just like a woman probably could size a man up. But I know I could size a woman up real quick and be like, okay, I don't care how much game you think you got, I could see.
I can't trust you.
Yeah, I could peep all that.
So does a man ever really trust a woman completely?
In time again.
I have. Yeah.
Completely?
I have.
Completely?
Yeah. But over
Completely.
time, not immediately.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Barry?
Yeah, I can say yeah.
You struggle with it. Why are you struggling
Yeah,
with trusting
because-
completely?
Because of what I went through during my incarceration, like
Oh.
somebody who I thought I'd really trust, I had a lot of trust with. She bailed out in the last minute. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
stayed down for a minute, and then I'm like, damn, I thought you was, I could trust you with some stuff, but I mean that's another subject, but we'll talk about it another time.
So, guys, I have a question about just what we were talking about as far as like Chris had expressed that he wants a woman just to step to him. Like women need to step to men that they're interested in. So what happens when a woman steps to a man and she says, listen, I want you. I want to be with you. I see this going somewhere. And the guy knows he doesn't want her. There's nothing wrong with the girl. Like, she's a great girl. They don't argue. They don't have disagreements. The love making is amazing. They love to spend time. They laugh together. But in his mind, she just doesn't look like what his wife is supposed to look like. What is a woman supposed to do? Give advice to a woman who is dating that guy, and he's doing enough just to keep her around, he's saying all the things where she's like, making accommodations. She's trying to get to him. She's trying to spend time with him, but he knows he does not want her. Like, give some advice to the sister about what she's supposed to do with that type of brother.
That might scare some women, some men off, because like brother Chris said, he like a woman to step to him. Some brothers might not want no aggressive woman. Like, hold on, slow, pump your brakes a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, let me pursue you.
For the record, I'm just saying I don't mind.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I don't require it.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of women that approach me.
Yeah,
I usually approach.
yeah.
But if they do, you're right.
Because some of them that could come off as being thirsty. Like, slow your thirsty ass down, even though you know what you want.
Yeah.
But it's like, hold on, pump your brakes a little bit, and let me, because that happened.
But you've been seeing her now for, like, let's just say a year.
Okay, and she
And
like,
y'all ain't really made no moves about what it is. And she's like, Barry, I want you. Like, I want it to just be me and you. And but you ain't ready to give it up yet.
yeah,
though.
you still want to have your, have your goods and hold on.
Absolutely. Tell a sister what to do.
Come to me last.
I think
Come to me
she has to listen. She has to listen to the answers of the things that she discusses with the guy. She has to ask the right questions, and I think she has to, the signs are there. You just if you want to read them or not. You might get caught up into his physique. You might get caught up into his money. You might get caught up into his personality, charisma. But at the end of the day, you got to dig deeper and pay attention to the signals. If a guy's a player, usually women can see and know that this guy, when he's out with his boys, his eyes are wandering, and look at how sometimes how you meet somebody. The guy came to approach you, and you're at a table with 4 women, and one guy just came and approached you by himself. The guy's probably not his first time. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. It's not her first time. Mm-hmm. So if you know that the guy is that type of guy, you gotta listen to the warning signs and pay attention to the signs, and don't believe you can change somebody. We are who we are.
Yeah. So your advice to the woman is read the signs, pay attention to what the brother is saying when you're talking,
and what you're observing, because women are not dumb. They know and they observe. But I think some women, brother, are accepting of certain things because of the end goal or whatever they want for societal reasons or whatever reasons.
And if you gotta ask, within a year process, it's probably
There's
ain't gonna
your
work.
answer.
Yeah, it's like if you gotta ask, you ain't gotta dig no more. It's right there
Yeah.
in front of you. If you like, dang, what I gotta do with women? So if he's not stepped up to the plate
Mm-hmm.
in that amount of time, and you gotta ask him,
Mm-hmm.
you know it ain't for you. Pay attention to what's going on. Like Brother Matt said,
Yeah.
it ain't that hard. It ain't. You guys make it harder than what it really is, because
Well, they're in denial too.
Yeah.
It's denial.
Women
That's
don't do
the
well with
answer.
rejection.
and hoping they in the hoping
Of course
stage.
we do. We
And
get
they think-
rejected all the time.
And they think they can change.
Yeah, you can't change. You
We
said it
did-
best.
I don't do well with rejection.
But guys, okay, what y'all saying?
doesn't?
It sound
Women.
good, but that's
No.
not the way y'all play the game, though. Like y'all will, be saying all the
String
right
you along.
things.
String-
yeah.
You will
String you
string a
along. Yeah,
woman
yeah.
along.
I could tell. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Well,
Yeah,
a woman allows herself to be strung along.
but yeah.
I agree with that. I
If you
do
haven't-
agree with
if
that,
you,
Chris.
If you haven't had a conversation with your dude, regardless of what status your relationship is, that's on you.
Mm.
And if you don't know, if you're not asking the right questions,
Mhm.
that's on you.
Goes
I-
back to the root.
I hear all the time. Well, no, I'm not going. I can't. I'm not going to tell him how to be a man. He should be a man and step up. You gotta do some work in this too. And if it's your relationship and the one you want, you better ask some questions.
Yes, I agree 100%. And I also think, too, that women need to not leave it up to men. And I'm not, I ask y'all for the advice, but this is just my 2 cents on it. I think that you can't leave it up to the man on whether you need to still be in this. Like, what are you seeing? Has it become what you've wanted yet? If it hasn't, then why are you still around?
You can leave it up to a man to be a man, but when it comes to your sanity,
Right.
your happiness,
You got to step
can't.
when it's time to step.
you can't rely on him for that.
Hold him accountable. Right? You gotta hold a brother accountable.
And let's just say, does holding y'all accountable make you kind of like, okay, snap into it? Like, nah, I really don't want to lose her. I'm playing games with myself. Like, if she just walks, like, because she's been giving you time and she came to you and said, hey, I really wanted to just be us. And you was like, I don't really know about that him and her. And she just disappear on you. Can that make a man be like, okay,
Let me get her. If she worth it, he gonna go back and get her. But like, you ain't gonna let her walk away if she worth it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But
And if she not, it is what it is.
well,
Yeah,
You lost
I'd
one.
rather we have a conversation about it, but it's well within her right to decide to step.
Yeah.
So
Last question. I think I already know that. Well, I don't know the end game for you. What's the end game, guys? Like, is living together, singleness, or marriage the end game at this point?
not marriage. Monogamous relationship would be cool.
Okay. Would you move in with a woman?
She can move in with me.
Okay. She can move in with you.
Unless
Okay,
she owns
but-
the island, then I would go to the island and live with her.
Okay. So marriage is not the end game for you, but a monogamous
Monogamous
relationship.
Right. But yeah, I
Okay.
would never get married.
Okay.
I don't even believe in marriage. I think more people, if they did a full study on it, they wouldn't get married.
Okay.
But because you can achieve pretty much the exact same stuff without going to the courthouse.
Chris,
Marriage is probably the end game.
it's the end game.
It's looking bleak, but
You're young. What are you talking about? Bleak.
was young.
Younger than me.
What are you, Barry? 40,
45.
45? I mean, I'm sorry, Chris, you're 45.
45.
Okay. So
But it's-
marriage is still the end game.
It's the end
though.
game, but it's looking bleak. But I'm still optimistic.
So as a mate, though, are you looking for somebody in their 40s, 30s, or you don't care?
I'm looking for someone who's open to, and I've asked myself that. It's disheartening to hear a woman say when you meet them, I might have a kid. I don't know. I might give you one. Maybe. That doesn't make me feel comfortable in laying
Yeah.
down an anchor anywhere, because
Right.
you'll always fall back on that. I told you maybe.
Well, maybe she doesn't mean that literally on the initial. Maybe I just
Stop
got to find out
bumping.
you worthy
Stop
enough for
bumping.
me to be
Stop
having a
bumping
baby
for 'em.
with.
I'm just telling, don't do that. Because
Be honest,
be
straight
I'm
up.
telling you what I hear out here.
Okay, well, okay. I'm going to take your word for that then.
I'm telling you what I hear.
And if that's not the truth,
If-
then they shouldn't be saying it because
Exactly.
they're speaking it.
If a brother steps in thinking, hey, she might have a kid for me, knowing that this is what I want, you
She
may
might
be
not.
very disappointed
To find out.
that she's not going to
Because
do
he's
it.
definitely
Yeah.
said he wants kids.
Yeah.
So for her to, maybe not, then that's not the
I
right
take
one.
your word.
You better treat it like a job. Put your best foot forward. Put your best foot forward, and that goes for everybody. I heard you say you don't think people should be looking. I disagree.
Me too.
I think that you should be active in the process for what you want. If there's something you want,
Go get
you better
it.
actively be trying to go get it. And I say that mostly to women, because men are always going to approach. Men are always going to hunt. We're always going to be stepping to women. Women will not step to a man no matter how much they
That's
want.
not true.
Not all.
Yeah,
but
not
the,
all.
But the majority thought is,
Mhm.
I want a man to approach me. That's his job. And I don't have a problem with a woman being aggressive,
Right.
because to me, it tells me she knows what she wants.
When I say looking, though, I want to, if you're looking for marriage, as I was saying earlier, a lot of people go and they get married because they're in love with the concept of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So they go and they get married without going and finding
Doing the work.
a best friend or somebody you really know as much as you can know, because
agree.
people always have
The qualities that'll
secrets.
really matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, they have people have secrets, and a lot of times people, no matter what, they don't let some of their secrets out. But they're in love with the idea of marriage, and in love with the concept of marriage. And so, I'm looking for a wife, I'm looking for a husband, and that's one of the issues. I say I'm just want to hang out, have a good time, and get to know you better. Well, get to know me. Oh, I'm looking for a husband. Well, okay, well then I'm not the guy if you're looking for a husband, because I'm looking to get to know people and understand people, understand what makes you tick, what makes you angry, what makes you happy, what makes you, all the different things that you go through.
I just want my sisters, if you do very well at going after that education, you do extremely well going after that job, that promotion, where you want to be in your career. You do very well at getting yourself together. Go just as hard. If you really want a guy, don't be afraid. There's nothing wrong with stepping to a guy. I don't think that makes a woman less of a woman. It doesn't devalue the process.
Barry, what's the end game for you?
Marriage, kids, marriage.
Okay. You seeking?
Definitely seeking.
You are.
Like a heat missile.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm
Not like a heat missile.
I like to manifest things and say what I want and be boldly and clear about it. What I'm after. So, but Brother Matt said, don't go looking. I'm looking.
You looking?
Because I feel like.
So when you looking in several places, or are you locking in on one thing and going after that?
Again, I don't have no problem shooting my shot at none of these women. So if I see something I like out there, I'm gonna shoot my shot.
Yeah.
And if we kicking and we vibing, I'm pursuing them. I could tell. The process of elimination is easy. I can sit down there and see where your mind at, have a conversation with you. Oh, she ain't talking about nothing. Off to the next. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, guys. Is there anything else y'all want to share with the queens before we end this episode?
Love yourself first.
Don't make no excuses. Make adjustments.
And that's a wrap with the Kings of Atlanta talking about dating over 40. We'll be right back with these 3 things. Hey, queens and kings. Tomorrow night on Instagram at These 3 Things Podcast, 8 p.m., December 16th, I will be going live with Matthew and Chris. We're going to have some great conversation, catch up on what they thought about Part 1 and Part 2, answer your questions, get your feedback, and just have some great conversation. So join us tomorrow at These 3 Things Podcast, Instagram. We'll see you there. Hey, this is Sharrona Reaves. I am with the Kings of Atlanta, Matthew, Chris, and Barry. And it's time for these 3 things. Number 1, actions. Queens, I don't know if you were listening, but the Kings gave us some great advice. Many times as women, we allow ourselves to be in limbo about where we stand in a relationship friendship, or an entanglement. As women, we are the masters at giving men the benefit of the doubt, especially when we really like them. We will call our girlfriend and analyze his every move, trying to figure out what his words mean. These unsure emotions can make us feel that we're getting played or we're being led on. But the king said it really isn't that hard to know where we stand if we look at his actions. We know you hear his words, but what is he doing? Is he making you a priority? Is he saying and showing you with his actions that you are important? His actions will clear up any guessing if you pay attention. Remember what Malika from the Queen Group Atlanta told us? If he won't fight to you, he won't fight for you. Fighting of any kind is definitely action. Is he fighting to be in your presence for more than just sex? Now, Queen, only you really know what the truth is. And more than likely, that small, still voice has already told you. But if you are the type that constantly second guesses that still voice, refer back to what the king said. Hear his words, but check his actions. Number 2, the point of it all. Matthew, Chris, and Barry shared their perspectives and thoughts on what dating over 40 is like for them. Maybe a few of you kings could relate with the perspectives that these guys shared, and queens, maybe you heard something that gave you better insight into our kings. But here's the thing. There's no new information shared here. The bigger question is this. If you are over 40 and dating, do you know what you want? Are you clear about what's important to you? What are your boundaries, deal breakers, and preferences? Let's go a little deeper. Are you ready for what you say you want? Have you healed from your past relationship, divorce, or disappointment? There comes a time, y'all, when walking around damaged is a choice. King, do you need therapy to heal from old trauma that you keep carrying into every relationship? And Queen, is your heart still closed off and incapable of letting anyone in because of a broken heart you suffered 20 years ago? What is your end game? It's cool to listen and laugh with Matthew, Chris, and Barry, but the real takeaway is making sure that you are whole and clear about who you are and what you want. If your foundation is solid and stable, you're more likely to attract solid and stable. And isn't that the point of it all? Number 3, Black love. The dynamics of the king and queen relationship can be complex. To be truthful, depending on how you grew up, your first example of relationships was more than likely based off of what you've seen with your parents or parent. Kings, we need you to show our sons how to love and treat us properly. And queens, we need to honor and respect our kings so that our daughters will see the value and safety in their leadership. Our history as a people in this nation has definitely put a strain on the dynamics of our love relationships that still exist today. I believe that it's so important for us to recognize our past and how it's affected us, but even more, we must recognize our now and how it's affecting those who will come behind us. It's important for us to model positive, healthy love relationships. It's important that we show the strength in our love, the unity in our love, the respect in our love, the passion in our love, the hope in our love, the excellence in our love, the beauty in our love, the power in our love. Black love. That's it for this episode of These Three Things podcast. Be sure to join me, Matthew, and Chris on Instagram Live tomorrow night, December 16th at 8 p.m. And remember, this is our last episode for 2020. I'm going to take a break for the holidays, and I'll be back January 5th with a new episode of These Three Things. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.